Step in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they find us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, train blood, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with my golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling like a golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
And what's going on, y'all? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. I hope you all are ready for the first pay-per-view of the year this weekend. I know I'm excited. There's a couple of fights that I'm so confident on these two fights that I might unload and drop the bank on a big parlay. So I guess we'll see. But with that being said, we got a lot to get into before we get there. Let me tell you what we are going to do. We are going to recap UFC Vegas 101 quickly, give you our thoughts on the card, give you our downs and our pluses from the card, me and D Rose, and the chat as well. Don't forget to drop your opinions on the card as well. We got some UFC news and fight announcements to go over, and then we will be getting into the UFC 311 Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan 2 predictions and picks. D Rose, I think you might be muted, man.
No, I'm just sitting here
all right.
just shadow boxing.
Like,
yeah,
I was like, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm just pleasing the audience here. I could have gave you but yeah, I'm trying to let you flow. My fault.
Okay, I got you. All right. With that being said, D Rose, how have you been over the past week or so, my guy?
Yeah, no, things have been good over here. The wildest part is just how unbelievably cold it's been, dude. Just unbearably cold, dude. Like, just to the point where, I think they said with the wind chill today, like around here, it was like right at 0 degrees, pretty much. Yeah, so that was not fun. Your boy ended up putting a thing of beef stew in the pot, a little beef and vegetables stew. So had that cooked up, had me a nice little healthy, hearty dinner before coming on. So we are feeling good. Hey, we don't like the cold weather that much. It's kind of like that seasonal type of year where you make that type of food that kind of fits in for the cold. Kind of hits the spot, man.
I got you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of chili myself. When I hear whenever I hear the word beef stew, I just think back to the movie The Benchwarmers, and like fucking that's what they called when they just laid someone down, just ripped apart right in their face. So whenever I hear, as a beef stew, I just think back to that. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I need to get some help. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get into the chat. Let's see how y'all are doing on this Wednesday. We got first in here from Bob the Beamer in here. I'll be back when live. Shout out Bob for being in here before we got started. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Says Austin. Can't wait for the show tonight. LFG. Shout out Austin. We got Antoine in here with the yo, and hope y'all had a blessed weekend so far. Almost Friday. Indeed. We got a couple more days. We got Daniel Aker in here with the LFG. We got Sugar Ray in here with the Let's Go and the Muscles. You know that's your biggest fan, D Rose. We got Dave in here just in time. Antoine saying, yo, about time. Yo, what's up? Says way too geeked up. What's going on? Way too geeked up. Glad you were able to make it here tonight. Hey, man, I wanted to let you know I got a 1-of-1 Alexander Volk from Gold Label. That's what's up. Shout out you. Hopefully.
That's badass.
Yeah, hopefully you're a fan. D-Rose, throw that 1-2 combo again. Such a banger card coming up indeed. One big parlay is given. One big parlay. And shout out off Gridley off the top, since he commented real quick. I'll go ahead and share real quick. Let me move over here. Wrong one. I think I got to add it to this stage. Yeah, I did a contest this past weekend. Drop your biggest plus money parlay on the Change to Cheddar comments, and or biggest plus money play in the comments of Change to Cheddar, and shout out off Gridley because he did hit this darn sub under 4.5. So for that, shout out off Gridley. And with that being said, you, my friend, will be getting these 2 UFC cards. The Mackenzie Dern Relic may or may not be scratch and sniff. I'm not 100% sure on that. Haven't found out. And Dustin Poirier knockout out of 250. Feel free to email me at, let me put my email up on here. Where is it at? Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, here we go. All of my socials are right here. Feel free to email me. You can hit me up on Instagram or on X/Twitter, whichever one you have. Feel free to just give me a shipping address and I'll get your cards mailed out to you, my guy. So, yeah, I'll leave that there for a second so you can take a screenshot, do what you need to do. And then, yeah, just hit me up with your address, man. And then I'll get your cards out to you. You were kind of laughing there, D-Rose. What's up?
No, just reading through the comments and everything. Just yeah, just everybody just going in. It's just yeah, I love the boys, man. I love the little crew we got here.
Sugar said, "Is that Ilya?" Exactly. D Rose almost.
I mean, hey, let's just say nobody's seen me and Ilya in the same room at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. D Rose better stock up with him Kia sells now. He's gonna be light when he loses those eyebrows. Oh goodness, you guys. Antoine says, crazy. This is the first pay-per-view of the year. What was y'all's first pay-per-view? Mine was 148. I think it may have been around 100 because it involved Brock Lesnar, I believe. What about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I wasn't buying them then, but
no, I went to a fucking Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like fucking 16, dude.
Yeah, I used to go on I don't even know if it's a site anymore, but do you remember MMA Core?
No.
It was like an old site where they basically would have all like the fights from the pay-per-view on that website. I guess somebody would just rip them and put them on there. So I would always end up watching it like the day after. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around maybe like Carwin and maybe Carwin and Lesnar or Frank Mir Lesnar, somewhere around there was kind of when I first started really getting started watching it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and ever since, I think ever since probably like 2013, I've been hooked. I just watch all the fights,
right?
Or at least the majority of them. All right, D-Rose. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the show. Let's go ahead and get into our Vegas 101 UFC Vegas 101 recap. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. I was right. You were right. I wasn't technically 100% right because this past weekend, a lot of my picks were right, just not a lot of my bets are right. Like the methods weren't right, but the fighters that I picked were right. A few dogs came through, dude, and I felt good about them. But I parlayed them with a few other fighters that I was also feeling good about, but they ended up not winning. So what can you do? So Mackenzie Dern gets the third round submission over Amanda Ribas. Does that surprise you at all, or just something that you expected? Could happen. I thought she was going to knock her out personally.
Yeah, no, I didn't think she was going to knock her out. I thought, we both predicted Dern to win, but I did not expect for Dern to be able to go in there and submit Ribas the way she did. I mean, honestly, even though Ribas had top control, that little sweep that Dern was able to hit. I mean, I'm no jiu-jitsu guy by any means, but just for her to be able to hit that sweep the way she did, and dude, as soon as she got top mount, it was like all of a sudden she just locked in those arms. And she knew she was going to get it before it was over with. And as soon as she locked it in, dude, you could see immediately like there was nothing Ribas could do except for if she wanted her arm broke. So the tap was so quick, but it was just such a quick submission. And Dern, she's looking good, man. So I like the progression that she's kind of making. Hopefully she can build on that a little bit. I like that she said after the fight that she wasn't necessarily ready for a title fight just yet. So try to build on that before you try to rush into a fight with a Wei Li or possibly Tatiana, whoever wins that fight next month. So yeah, I like the way Dern's kind of taking her progression, wanting to take it slow. Probably going to have a rematch after this, but still, nonetheless, build on it a little bit before she tries to rush herself to the title. But it was a good performance overall.
Indeed. Co-main event, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Carlson Harris. This one kind of bums me out, dude, because that was a close fight, and the stoppage was if it was Jason Herzog, I don't think he would have stopped it. I'm gonna put that out there. Like Tyone.
The problem with it was that, and I'll let you finish, but it should have been stopped sooner. And then it wasn't stopped. They let him in it. And then by the time Carlson Harris started striking back, then they stopped it. So it was like, it wasn't stopped when it should have been. And then when he finally got back into it, they stopped it. And it was weird all around.
Yeah. I had Carlson Harris winning that, one of my dogs of the week. I thought he probably won the first 2 rounds. So that third round, he for sure would have lost the round, but it was a close fight.
I believe they said on the judges' scorecards he did lose. He did win the first 2 rounds, Carlson Harris.
Yeah. So at worst, ends in a draw. My shit gets voided. All right, cool. But nope, the knockout happened and it kind of ruined it. Speaking about another knockout in the feature fight of the night, Cesar Almeida, Abdul Razak Alasan, dude. I believe me and you both called this. We're like, Abdul has a path to victory, but he's a dumbass and he's not going to use it. He's going to go in there and try to strike with Cesar Almeida. And
we both literally called it.
For the first few minutes, that's what he was doing. And then he shot for a takedown. I'm like, oh shit, he's shooting for a takedown. Cesar stuffs the takedown, and then Abdul stands back for a second and then just tries to ooga booga him. And then fucking Cesar's like, all right, wham, and just knocks him clean out, dude. Abdul was out for a few, they went to commercial break and came back, and he was still out. It's like, Jesus Christ, he knocked him clean out, dude. What's your thoughts on the feature fight, man?
Yeah, no, as you said, we both absolutely called that because Abdul Razak Hassan cannot be the guy who is making this big, loud noise about Joaquin Buckley being a soft ass, calling him a bitch and all this stuff for wrestling him, and then him being the guy going in there and wrestle. Nah, man, you gotta live up to that standard you set. So, and he ends up going in there with a dangerous kickboxer and goes in there and tries to do the Gabe Green ooga booga and just runs into him. And yeah, you're going to get wrecked by a left hook. Yeah, we called it from a mile away, but I mean, I know it's early, man, but sheesh. That's knockout of the year front runner right now. I mean, obviously, there's only one card right now.
Card, yeah.
I mean, dude, it's going to be hard to do. That was absolutely nasty. Because to be fair, Abdul Razak Hassan did drop Cesar Almeida. So he dropped him, rushed him, and then, of course, ended up walking into that big left hook. But absolutely nasty. And it was the finish that Cesar Almeida really needed to kind of put himself on the map there a little bit, because he was known for, as you said, the eye-poking guy, kicking Ihor Peteria in the nuts multiple times and all this stuff. So to kind of get this knockout, maybe puts him in a new light with the fans.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me one single bit. Where do you think Abdul goes from here? Says Antoine.
Man, I don't know how many fights he has left on his contract, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's what's next for him is the PFL. I mean, at this point, I don't know
The
what
GFL.
I don't know what. Yeah, exactly. One of these FLs, not the UFC. But yeah, I'd say probably one of them. I don't really know if he brings much value to the UFC at this point, and he's too small for 185, and he's too big for 170, so he can't make the weight. So he's kind of like that tweener that you can't really do anything for.
Yeah. Another knockout that happened. Chris Curtis, Roman Kapilov, and I know this one burned you, dude. I know this one burned you, but I've been burned enough now where if I think it's going to decision and I know one fighter's probably going to win, dude, I will do that fighter 3 or decision. If I know the fight is not going, to the finish, I won't even bet the under. I will go over to the does fight go the distance and click no, just because I've been burned in these last few minutes so much that dude, if there's a way to get that price, that I'll pay just a little bit more for just a little bit of safety. That is one thing that I try to do all the time now. So you'll see me always doing 3 or decision. I never bet for a decision. I will always do 3 or decision because the price is always 20 cents difference, 30 cents difference. It's just like, it's worth it to me to just buy the 3 or decision. I know this one burned you, D-Rose, so I'll let you talk about it, man.
Yeah, no. Well, and honestly, the worst part is it was a really good fight. So I don't want to take away from that. It was an awesome fight. Honestly, because I had Roman Kapilov by decision. And like I had it in a parlay, and yes, I thought that the first 2 rounds, I thought it was 1-1, and that third round was close. Honestly, Chris Curtis after the second round, like I was kind of sitting here questioning myself, like why the hell did I not pick Chris Curtis? Like, dude, Chris Curtis started busting him up. I mean, dude, Roman Kapilov's face was crushed after that fight. Like,
it's because he unloaded the first round. I was like, dude, there's no way he keeps his pace up for all 3 rounds, dude. He's throwing way too much in the first.
Yeah, no, he absolutely did, and he ended up paying for it there in the second round. Put it on there in the third round, and I thought that Roman Kapilov was winning the round, but I am with Chris Curtis to say that, man, like he was getting up. Mark Smith didn't really give him the chance. The weird part was, and maybe it was just because Mark Smith took a look at his eyes and he saw something that we didn't see. That's the only thing that I can say. Because when Mark Smith goes up to Chris Curtis, like he's acting like he's going to stop it, then he backs up. And then Chris Curtis is starting to get up. And as he's starting to get up, then that's when Mark Smith steps in to stop the fight. So it was like a sequence
just like Mark Smith right there, dude. Like that's exactly what
Chris
Curtis saw.
Yeah, kind of. I was there having flashbacks of Saturday night, man. It's just absolutely crazy. It was just weird how he kind of yo-yoed back and forth before he finally went in with 1 second left. Obviously, it's not his job to know what time it is, Mark Smith, but I mean, I think Chris Curtis, should be given enough liberty to say that, man, he's been in there with some tough sluggers and, he's fought some heavy hitters and stuff like that and hasn't really been hurt too much. I think he could have really given him the benefit of the doubt to give him a second to catch himself there.
Yeah, and I know D-Rose's go-to, probably the same as my go-to. Shout out Food Line.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Food Line all the way. Yeah, Food Line all the way. Hey, Walmart, they do be having the bundles there for if you buy stuff in like bulk and whatnot. It is better to go to places like Walmart, but yeah, for everything else, yeah, I'm pretty much going to Food Line.
I could walk to a Food Line, so that's gonna be my go-to. All right, here we go, dude. C-Rod, Austin Bashy, dude. C-Rod does it again. Anything here or just C-Rod, dude? It's just like at some point, like dude, it's just what undefeated prospect is he not going to be? Like, you know.
Right. I mean, and at this point, is that just his job now? Is just because when he finally fights the one guy who's kind of had the UFC experience, Julian Erosa, he
Yeah.
loses the fight, and then he goes back to fighting a guy who, again, another prospect, and taking another prospect's So at this point, is this what Christian Rodriguez is, like the test for the undefeated newcomers into the UFC, just to
Right.
take everybody's it's just absolutely crazy. But yeah, Chris Rodriguez, man, he's solid. We called that straight from the jump as well, that he was going to win by decision. He's just solid everywhere. Good boxing, good wrestling defense, good scrambles. I mean, the dude, he's just solid all around, man, and a really good fighter.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Peyton Talbot versus C-Rod, but I don't think we're going to get that now because it looks like C-Rod's going to permanently be up at 145. Yeah.
Yeah, they said that. I heard them talking about it. I believe it was during the fight Saturday, where they said that C-Rod actually tested his weight at the UFC PI to see if he could make 135, and they said the UFC staff really encouraged him to stay at 145 because they didn't think that 135 weight cut was healthy for him. So they said they put more of a focus of adding more muscle onto Chris Rodriguez, going up into the new weight class. So yeah, it seems like he's going to be a stay at 145.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We should get some fun matchups there. Moving on down, we got Puna Soriano and Uros, the Dr. Medic. This is one of the ones that hurts me, dude, because I didn't think Puna was going to knock out Uros Medic in the first 3 seconds of the fight. I expected Puna to wrestle Uros Medic all 3 rounds, get the decision win. I had it in bets. I did have Puna money line in a few bets, but it was also tied to Carlston Harris and Mackenzie Dern. So, of course, when you do a 3-leg parlay, one of them ain't going to come through for you. So that's how that money line parlay went. But, man, Puna Soriano knocks out Uros Medic 31 seconds into the first round, dude. Puna's a problem, dude. I've been a Puna fan for a while now. Up at 185, it was kind of hard to see him losing some of these fights because he's tough, he has power, but I just wanted to see him win. But down here at 170, dude, he might be a fucking problem because he's shown in his last fight that he has the gas tank to wrestle all 3 rounds. He's shown in this fight he has knockout power still to knock out a fighter that doesn't really get knocked out, especially up at 170. So, yeah, man, interesting turn of events for Puna Soriano this weekend. What's your thoughts on that fight, if any? And then we'll jump to the prelims.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't really too much of a fight to have thoughts on, but just as far as Puna, man, he seems to have really found his home here at 170. He had kind of had a little bit of struggle at 185. You could see in some of those fights where some of those guys he fought Brendan Allen, right? I believe Puna. Did he fight Brendan Allen at 185 or?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure to be honest.
I would have to look. I can't remember, but I just remember there were a couple matchups that he had where you could see some of the 185ers were just naturally bigger. But for him,
then he did Dustin Stolfoots, Roman Kapilov. Roman Kapilov was a pretty tough. Yeah,
Roman Kapilov was much bigger than him, just in terms of height.
Like the one that hurt me was the Nick Maximov fight because Nick Maximov just treated him like he was Habib or something like that.
Yeah,
he did fight Brendan Allen all the way back in 2021. D-Rose, it was good memory on that. Yeah. Brendan Allen did win via decision, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Brendan Allen was able to, wrestle him too. And Brendan Allen, had good size on him. But seeing Puna go down at 170, him having probably a wrestling advantage against at least some of those guys that are mostly strikers like a Uros Medic and have the knockout power. Yeah, Puna, man, he can be a problem at 170. So I like him in the division. I don't know. Could he have a Joaquin Buckley type shine up at 170? Let's see what he could do.
Yeah. Indeed. Can't forget Jalen beat up Turner too. Yep. Or there we go. Don't
Turner beat
forget.
up. Yeah, he
there
did.
we go.
Yeah, Jalen Turner smoked him. Like that was actually
but
pretty cool.
that's why he moved up to 170 though. But dude, he's a pretty big one. Like he was fucking bigger than what Puna was. So
Yeah,
that kind of surprised me.
He's a big dude. No,
Yeah.
he's a big dude, man.
All right, dude. Let's move on down to these prelims. We'll kind of hit the gas on these. Jose Johnson, Felipe Bunes. This one burned me. I didn't really have much money on it. I did pick Jose Johnson here. Though I think I had him just money line. You know, he ended up getting submitted in the first round by this little guy, Felipe Bunes. Upset about that. Marco Tulio does knock out Ihor Peteria in the first round after about like a 5-minute break in between, dude, because he got hit in the nuts. He got fouled a few times. I'm just gonna put it like that. Ihor Peteria is just like, it's almost
He's
like
he's a foul magnet. Like what else?
Apparently, it's like
anytime someone
fights him, anytime someone fights him, like they're coming at him like this with Luke Hang shots to the nuts. And, you know, I just don't know. Like, I don't know how else to explain it besides every Ihor Peteria fight. He's going to get fouled at least twice. For some reason, I almost feel bad for him at this point, you know, because it's like, fuck.
It's almost like Ric Flair should just jump down and like hit him with like the little cross, like cross arm shit. Like oh my
just come
God,
up behind him.
Unbelievable. Yeah, just like, I mean, at this point, like, what can he do? Like, Ihor is so unlucky, man. And RV saying the same thing that he's just so unlucky, dude. Like, how can you in every single fight that you get into get eye poked and ball kicked and multiple times
and headbutted?
Yes, like this dude, he cannot catch a break, man. The UFC got to shoot him some bail or something, man. Like, and you can even say like in the Michelle Pereira fight, like, because we were talking about that, but the Michelle Pereira fight, Michelle Pereira does a backflip and lands on his head. Like, what are we doing? Like, he literally stomped on him. Like, Ihor Peteria is out here getting like curb stomped in the UFC, dude, and we're just letting it slide. Like, how does this even happen to him? The dude is a foul magnet, dude. It's unbelievable.
I poked the ball kicked in a boxing match.
Dude, I swear to goodness, dude.
Yeah, dude. I just feel bad for him. I did pick him to win the fight though, so it also kind of hurts me because he looked all right before all of that happened. And then once that happened, it's like it was almost like, I'm going to get you back for that. And he just gets mollywopped, like laid out flat.
Absolutely
like,
smooth.
Fuck. Like classic Ihor, though, you know, it is what I expected. Anyway, Thiago Moises, Trey Ogden, dude. For some reason, I thought this fight got stopped at one point, but it didn't. I had to go back earlier today. I'm like, I thought Thiago Moises TKO'd him for some reason. I don't know why I fucking thought he did. Probably because it could have been stopped at a few different points in the fight, but Thiago Moises does win via decision, and Trey Ogden tears his bicep in the fight, and he was bloody as shit too. I don't know what he got hit with, but dude, Thiago like won basically every moment of that fight past the first round. Like, you know, like it's just like every second of that fight, Thiago Moises was winning past the first round. Because the first round, I'm just like, oh no, Thiago, I picked you to win, dude. What are you doing? Like, this is exactly how I expected Trey Ogden to win this fight. And then it was like Trey Ogden just kind of fell apart there in the second round. Preston Parsons, Jacoby Smith went exactly how I thought it was going to go, dude. Preston Parsons gets absolutely smoked by Jacoby Smith. I don't even need to say anything else there. Ernesto Carrasqueta and Nicole Kalari. I see a few people saying this fight was, I guess, robbery. I don't even think it should have gone to split decision. I thought Ernesto cleanly won that fight, but it is what it is. Magomed Gajiasulov, Bruno Lopez. I picked wrong here. I did pick Gajiasulov via decision, and Bruno Lopez wins via decision. A lot of fence holding, though. Not the best fight. Here's one that also hurts me too, dude, because Victoria Dudikova, Fatima Klein. I said it, change of cheddar Friday. Victoria Dudikova, gas. She does not have a gas tank to go all 3 rounds. And Fatima Klein, you know, Aaron Blanchfield, training partner in and out of the bedroom. You know, she's got good jiu-jitsu. I was like, Fatima Klein, round 2, round 3 sub, dude. I got it at plus 850. It ended up closing Saturday before the fight, had like plus 500. So I was in on that. I got a solid number on it. And then she ends up getting the round 2, round 3 TKO instead. And I was just like, damn it. Well, like, I don't even know what I can do there. You know, it's like shit. But it is what it is. Nuro Olive, Joe Selecki. Nuro Olive does win via decision. And that is it for the prelims. Anything I missed out or anything you would like to say?
No. I mean, everything I thought was important. I got off my chest, so we good to go.
Cool beans. With that being said, let's get into our pick champ for the week. We did have 3 different picks this past weekend. It was Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlson Harris, Euro Schmedich versus Punahele Soriano, and Trey Ogden versus Thiago Moises. I did pick Thiago Moises. I did pick Punahele Soriano, and unfortunately, I did pick Carlson Harris as well. But 2 out of those 3 were winners for me, and you got the pick champ right back here. So, first pick champ of the year, rocking with it. I expected D Rose to be here, chugging his favorite hot sauce bottle this week, but apparently he has something else in mind. So, D Rose, I'm gonna let you speak about it. I'll have to run downstairs and grab a can of soda. I guess I have 2 different drinks in here, and they're both already empty. My mouth's dry today, so I'll be right back. I'll let you talk.
I mean, geez, you've been pounding that Dr. Pepper, huh? No water for you. No. Yeah, man. So, I've been kind of thinking about it. We had said, as far as the beans, we were kind of out on that idea. But, I'll just say that we can't really come up with an agreement on something. And it's been kind of like, what can we do? I'm going to uphold the integrity of this podcast and what this podcast was built on. And this podcast pick segment was built on, we do not want to eat these nasty ass beans if we end up getting them wrong. And by golly, I'm going to stick to the code. I got these nasty sons of the guns. And we're going to
is he fooling anyone though, or is it still Beangate? He's trying to.
Hey, y'all can see these. Just to let y'all know, we got a couple in there. I'm hoping I'm getting a couple blue ones just to snub y'all. But we gonna go ahead and rock out with these nasty ass beans, man. And we starting out the gate hot. We starting out hot here. We are potentially looking at birthday cake or dirty Dave Lover. Oh. Nah, you can't do this, Antoine. You can't do this. Oh gosh.
It's gonna be birthday cake.
Because the eyebrow thing, man, I don't know. That's tough, man. And I'm going to uphold the integrity here.
He just swallows it. He just swallows it. Nah, that one can't be bad. He's still chewing it. Like that one can't be bad. Come on now, really? Look how long you chewed that, dude. I swear, I know that bitch is bad when I bite it in that one chew. I know immediately.
No, I actually ended up getting choked on it. It was birthday cake.
Okay.
But I actually got choked on it. So it was birthday cake.
Some sour powder. D Rose, you ever had sour powder?
Sour powder.
I've never had
That could be
sour Man said
that could be
integrity.
something. Nah, I won't do it. I won't do it. We'll put that one back. Oh gosh.
What flavor? Is it orange?
This
that could be throw
is-
up. That could be throw up.
This is, I believe, either dead fish or strawberry
yeah.
banana.
Yeah, that's the dead fish flavored one. But probably going to be banana for D Rose because that's how it works.
Oh,
Nope.
Oh.
That one's that one was bad.
Oh.
That one was bad. I know. I heard it. I heard it come up. That one was bad, D Rose.
no, I didn't give it a chance.
No,
No, that was 1,000%.
there was some blurb in there. Exactly.
Oh,
That's, I believe that one.
no, that was 1,000% dead fish, dude. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Dude, and the worst part about that one, oh gosh, like it legit tastes like a fish too. That's the worst part.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh gosh.
Well, that was fun. That was fun. Good way to start off the year. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I just can't keep being here throwing up every single week because I always get the bad beats. Derek said the 199 super sticker. Shout out, Derek. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you stopping by here tonight, and thank you for the super sticker. My God. D-Rose regretting his integrity right now.
That damn dead fish, dude, gets me every time. Dude, I
mean, you think it's supposed to taste good? Like, I mean,
no, I mean just that color. Like, I don't think
Dude,
I've had. Like, I've never had the peach.
All the beans for me, dude, all the bad ones literally make me want to throw up. Like, there's very few that don't make me want to throw up. It's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, I've never. It's strawberry banana. Yeah, I've never had that one.
I've for sure had that one. I've had that one. It's pretty nice. Not gonna lie.
No, that is rough. That damn dead fish, dude. I swear.
All right.
I mean, at least I got birthday cake. I ain't tripping, but
yeah, and then you got choked on it. Anyway, let's move into our UFC news and fight announcements for the week. We've got the first one, Steve Erceg taking on Asu Amabayev. This is going to be UFC Vegas 103, March 1st. Going to be Steve Erceg's first fight back after getting snoozed by Kai France, yeah?
sorry, Sean, wash that out, dude. It's still like lingering. Yeah, no, yeah, interested to see how Steve Erceg looks coming back. See if I mean, he kind of took the Kai fight pretty quick after that Pantoja fight. So good to see him kind of take a little bit of time off, but going right back, into the fire to fight Asu Amabayev. But should be a good fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know if he could stop the wrestling. That's the thing. That's the thing there. I think Asu gonna, dude, and that's like, I guess I just expect like fucking Steve Erceg to be so much higher ranked, but he's lower ranked than Asu Amabayev is. So it's like he's just back down in his like fucking rank anyway. So it is what it is. Up next, we've got Jonathan Milquet. I don't know how to say this against Kevin Jusay. Do you care about this one? UFC 312.
Not at all.
All right.
That dude looks like he looks like a Fortnite. Like he looks like a Fortnite character or something like that. Or he looks like a camel almost. Like
a camel?
Like I can't quite tell. Like a camel or like a, I don't know, dude got like a horse face or something like that. I can't tell.
We'll move on. We've got Charles Energy Johnson taking on Ramazan Timorev. UFC Vegas 103, March 1st. You care about that one?
Well, excited to see Charles Johnson, but I mean, I would like to see him kind of start ascending up a little bit.
These wrestlers, yeah, like.
Well, and it's just like, yeah, it's just and it's like dudes too. I know flyweight doesn't have like all these names and stuff like that, but I feel like he's putting up performances together. I mean, let's remember he also like Joaquin Buckley. I believe he went 4-0 last year, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes, I'm pretty sure he went 4-0, man. Like, he needs to be ascending up in the division right now. Not necessarily fighting back for guys like Temerov.
Yeah, interesting fight there. D Rose got you done. They're never going to let Charles climb rankings. Unfortunately, I think he has a cool haircut. They need to let him. Man, it's like
probably not marketable.
If he
I wouldn't say he's marketable.
If he would start selling the skullet wigs for all his bald fans, man, like he would have so many more fans. Like just like a fucking mask that you hook on the back of your head, dude. Imagine how many Charles Johnson skullets there could be out there, dude. I would get one, and I have hair. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on. We got Wang Kong returning after getting mollywopped and then choked out. She's going to be fighting Bruna Brazil, my biggest cash cow of last year on the biggest card that I won last year, my most confident card of the year last March. She's fighting Bruna Brazil, though. I did cash the Bruna Brazil via decision against Molly in a big-ass parlay last March when UFC went to London, so I will ever hold a spot for Bruna Brazil in my heart. I know her game very well. This is a tough fight because, Bruna Brazil is a striker at distance, and Wang Kong is a kickboxer with power, dude. Not the best matchup for Bruna Brazil this time. At least not as easy as it was against calling that Molly fight. What's your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think really for Wang Tong, the Wang Kong. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
They pronounce it with a T, but it's a
right.
C. I don't know.
Right, that's I'm like, is it Wang Kong? Is it Tong? I don't know what it's supposed to be. But yeah, I think it's a tough fight. I mean, we saw how she looked. Was it Fernandez? Gabriela?
Yeah.
Gabriela Fernandez in the last fight that she fought, and I mean, Bruna Brazil, she's dangerous as well. So Wang came in, definitely overconfident in her last fight, and ended up paying the price for it. So she goes in there against Bruna Brazil. Bruna Brazil doesn't have like the most power, I would say, but she is a clean striker, and you walk into some shots from a clean striker, you can get yourself hurt as well. So yeah, it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, hopefully we get a better price on Wang Kong this week. She ain't a -1,000 favorite because she just lost, dude. If she's a -1,000 favorite again, I'm gonna lose it. We've got Colin Loughran returning against Nathan Fletcher, March 22nd. Oh, that's the London card. That's my money-making card, dude. Thoughts on that one, if you care at all?
Yeah, I don't care about it.
All right, fair enough. UFC 312, we got Jake Matthews taking on Francisco Prado. Man, I feel bad for Jake Matthews here. I know he's going to get knocked out, man. UFC 312, February 8th. What's your thoughts on that one?
Why am I sitting here thinking that Francisco Prado didn't he fight at 155?
You're thinking
who am I mixing him up with?
He Esteban Ribovics. They look exactly the same. They look exactly the same, and they're both from Argentina. I swear, they're both from Argentina, and they both look exactly the same.
Nah, it's not Ribovic, man. I know what you're saying, but like, there's a lot more.
There's another dude too, Francisco Prado, Esteban Ribovics, and
yeah, we'll have to.
There's another one too.
Yeah, there's a 155er that looks like him, man, and I don't know who it is, but we gon' and it's not Ribovic, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, no, I think that should be a good fight, and for the people in Australia, they get to see their boy Jake Matthews. So,
All right. Dude, we've got Jimmy Crute back in the UFC again, dude. But it is because Marcin Prachnio is out. Jimmy Crute will now face Adolfo Bellato, UFC 312. Looks like anytime UFC needs a late notice replacement, they just call up the fighter that they've recently cut from Australia named Jimmy Crute. And he'll be back on the card. 3-fight contract, get cut after that contract, and won't be back until the next time they need a fight when they go to Australia. What's your thoughts here, man?
Well, I think so. So what I actually had heard was that I think Jimmy Crute was still like his contract was still with the UFC, was that he basically wanted to take time off. I think what was it after the Alonzo Menifield fight? He wanted to kind of take time to kind of basically do a reset because I think it was after the Jamal Hill and Anthony Smith loss. He said he kind of like lost himself in there for a little bit. And then he had the Alonzo Menifield series where, he basically fought him twice, and then he ended up getting basically smoked both times. Even though I know the first fight went to a no contest or whatever. That second time he ended up getting smoked and finished. And really lost himself for a minute. So I think he was with the UFC the whole time. I just think he took some time off to try to really find himself again.
Well, he's going to get knocked out again at UFC 312. What's your thoughts here?
Damn, that's tough, man. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, his chin's cheeks, solid, dude. And no, he gets knocked out by jabs.
Yeah, but what I'm hoping is at this point where he's taking this time off to heal himself, maybe he'll be better equipped to take shots, and maybe his defense will be a little bit better as well. That'll be a big thing to see.
I doubt it. We'll see though. We've got Nathaniel Wood taking on Morgan Charrier, added to UFC London March 22nd. I believe this fight was already scheduled before and it ended up falling out. But looks like they're rebooking it back. Nathaniel Wood, Morgan Charrier. What's your thoughts here, man?
It was on like a UFC London card, or
yep, March 22nd, UFC London.
Yeah, definitely. That should be a really good fight. Nathaniel Wood's a super technical dude, and Morgan Charrier, he's a dangerous striker. But I'm curious to see how Morgan Charrier looks, later on in the fight, where I think that's where Nathaniel Wood can shine a little bit as well. But I think this should be a really good fight.
Fair enough. I like Morgan Charrier. He's a fun fighter. We've got Alexander Hernandez taking on Kurt Holloway, UFC Vegas 104. I don't care about this one. How about you, Dearest?
I mean, it should be a solid fight. Honestly, I'm just surprised that Alexander Hernandez is still in the UFC. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, we'll talk about a fighter this week in this fight, and I don't know how he's in the UFC, how he has any wins at all, but we'll talk about it. We got Javid Basharat taking on Ricky Simone. Okay, UFC Seattle, February 22nd. What's your thoughts on this fight? Ricky Simone's hometown.
Yeah, that's a solid fight. I like that. I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but solid fight.
All right. We've got Jordan Levitt out. Man. Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi will now face Balaji Oki at UFC Riyadh February 1st. Care about that one at all? I know Balaji Oki's a fucking tank of a man.
I don't really care about the fight.
All right. Fair enough. Results from this past weekend. We already talked about it. So, man, look at fucking Ihor just getting smoked, dude. Like, that's after getting eye poked and nut shotted. They just knock him out like that.
Then he got oil checked.
Right, dude? Like, dude, the Puna memes this past week have been hilarious. Like, it's just been like a picture of Mackenzie Dern, and then just fucking Puna celebrating. It's like I have been dying laughing all week. C-Rod getting it done over Austin Pashy. Cesar Almeida. There's and Mackenzie Dern. All right, we got Jack Della Maddalena taking on Leon Edwards. This is going to headline UFC London March 22nd. Hell yeah, dude. I am a fan of this fight. What do you got here?
Yeah, no, I really like the fight a lot as well. Jack Della Maddalena being on the big winning streak that he's on right now, and possibly on the cusp of getting a title shot. And for Leon Edwards is this is the gut check time for him to we need to see where Leon Edwards is really at right now.
Indeed.
Sorry, I had to let it sneeze out there, but yeah, no, it's really just a test to see where Leon Edwards is at right now. Is he going to be a guy who can try to get back to the title, or is he going to be a guy who kind of fades off and kind of rides off in the sunset, kind of going 50-50 for the rest of his career?
Yeah, man. We'll have to find out. We've got Loner Kavanaugh taking on Felipe Daytona or Felipe Dos Santos, added to UFC London March 22nd. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, that's a solid fight. Always excited to see Felipe Dos Santos, so should be solid.
All right, we got Jai Herbert returning against Taco Chris Padilla, also UFC London, dude. That's going to be one that, dude, Jai Herbert's takedown defense ain't the best in the world, and this is in London too. I know UFC wants Jai Herbert to win, dude, and Taco's always the dog. If he's the dog here, dude, I'm going to be like, do people just not believe in him at this point? And that's the last announcement that we have. You care about this fight at all, D-Ref?
Yeah, no, not really.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So that is the UFC fight announcements, news and fight announcements that we have for the week. Did I miss anything that you have heard about, D-Rose?
No. I just what did you think about, because I don't know if I ever actually sent it to you and we actually talked about it. Did you see the footage of Izzy and Robert Whittaker sparring together? And what was your and if you haven't seen it, they have been training with each other. It seems like they've been sparring with each other ahead of Izzy's fight against Nasruddin. I didn't know what you thought about, like, kind of former foes getting back in there and kind of getting back to training together.
Interesting. I didn't think that they would be two to train together, but I mean, to be honest, like their like fucking rivalry is like past now. It's over. So I could see Izzy wanting to get some tips for fighting Imavov. But at the same time, I guess I would have rather maybe seen him training with someone that fought Imavov, I guess. Like, because, I mean, he fought Alaskarov, but that's not really the same. So
Right.
I don't know if that's the best body. Rob's not as big as Nasruddin is. I would have probably much rather seen him just train with Kevin Jousset, dude. Like, they got about the same fucking body style. French kickboxer, maybe learn a little bit of French, so you can understand the call outs as well. That's just me, but it is what it is, dude. I don't hate it. I don't know if it's going to improve on any of their skills at this point. How about you?
I like to see old rivals kind of you clear things up, and I don't think I ever took their beef to be like personal or anything like that. I think Izzy tried to do a little bit to sell the fight. I mean, Rob didn't really sell too much into the kind of trash talk going into their first fight. And then the second fight, they were kind of a little bit more professional. So I could definitely see those two being kind of cooler heads to be able to kind of get together and, let the past be the past. And, they competed against each other at one point in time, but that doesn't mean it needs to be, personal, understanding that there is a business to, making money and stuff like that. Like I've seen Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal, they can basically break bread with one another to say that, like, I've seen them talk before. I think it was on Kamaru's podcast. Like, I saw a clip where they were talking about, like, man, we made some money together. You know what I mean? Like, they basically were like, hey, man, our pay-per-view sold a lot of money and, all this stuff. So it's cool to be able to see them kind of sit down and break bread with one another and, you know, be able to kind of reflect on the times and stuff like that. But the one that I'd want to see the most, and I know 1,000% it's not going to happen, is John Jones at DC. I would love to be able to see them actually sit down and actually break bread with one another. But I don't think them two, they're petty enough to where they'll never let it go.
Yeah, and I think that's more of Rob, because Rob seems kind of more like a chill guy, a humble guy. Like when, like you see fucking clips, like when, you know, just like some shit happens, and he's okay with kind of fucking laughing at himself, like, you know, like you know. So, I think that's kind of more of Rob than it is Izzy, probably. So that wouldn't surprise me too much if like Rob reach out, you know, maybe trying to get some fucking training. But at the same time, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And Antoine wanted to know, do you think Izzy gets right back in line for a title shot if he beats Nasruddin? I don't know. How about you?
I don't know. There's so much unknown right now, and I mean, with Drake and Sean still at the fight and all that stuff, it's hard telling. Potentially just because he's such a big name, but there's so much left to unfold with the title shots and all that yeah, it's hard telling right now, honestly.
I agree. That's kind of how I feel. So let's get into it, D Rose. Our UFC 311, Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev 2. Our predictions and our picks for this upcoming weekend. Man, I'm excited for these fights. I don't know if you guys are, but I definitely am. Come on, let's zoom in a little bit. So this weekend, UFC 311 going to be taking place Saturday, January 18th. Prelims going to start at 6 p.m. East Coast time at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California, or that is where it should be taking place at. I know there was something earlier in the week that said if the LA fires got too bad, then they would move it to Vegas, but it looks like it's going to be taking place in LA. So shout out everyone still there. Hopefully y'all are safe. You know, hopefully, you know, everything that you have is safe. If not, you know, I'm very sorry to hear that. But hopefully we can, you know, take your mind off of some negative stuff that's happening around the world and be talking about some fights this weekend. So not going to give you guys any big booms or anything like that. Did you see that?
You said big booms? No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, dude. There's this family on the internet, right? They're called There's this family on the internet, right? Called like the Costco family or some shit, right? Like that, right? And they're pretty, like, they've got like this family thing, right? And like, you know, they give someone commented, oh, like my fucking cousin died like this weekend, like you know, something, and their reaction was, oh, I'm sorry your cousin died this past weekend, 5 big boobs, boom, boom, boom. We're like, I just watched it, like, what is happening? How is this real? This is real?
Like we're shouting out like that his family member died, basically.
Dude, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. Like, it almost like it's really like, I don't know.
It's absolutely dumb.
Yeah, it's
absolutely dumb. Like some of the dumbest stuff that like going viral.
Big Justice and AJ. All right, I have to find it. It is it's ridiculous there. I was like, imagine commenting that and like their response is, you get 5 big booms, and then they just say boom 5 times in a row. Like, what?
Like, hey man, I just lost my mom.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You get 10 big booms. We gotta start handing out big booms here on the channel here.
Like, what are booms? Are they? I mean, are they farting? Are they like what is the big boom to be given out? Like, it's just a boom on the sound. Like, what is it?
I don't know. Let's get into these 14 fights, though. I'll tell you, it's going to be headlined by Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan for the lightweight championship of the world. 5 rounds. And in the co-main event, also 5 rounds for the bantamweight championship of the world between Marab, the Machine, Dvalishvili, and cousin Umar Nurmagomedov. In our featured fight of the night, one of the ones that I am most excited for, I cannot wait for this fight. We've got Yuri Prochazka taking on Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. We've got Benny D, Benil Dariush taking on Money Moicano. We've got another one that I'm super excited for. We've got the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, taking on, Renier de Ritter. We've got Peyton Talbot taking on Hayani Barcelos, someone that I love to hate, just like another person that I love to hate that we'll talk about in just a second. We've got Jelton Malhajina Almeida taking on the Polar Bear or the Vampire, Sergey Spivak. We've got Bogdan Guskov taking on Billy Elikana. That got added today or yesterday. I don't know about that guy at all. We've got Grant Dawson taking on someone else that I love to hate, Diego Ferreira. We've got Zach Reese taking on Osmat Bekoev. That's another late notice replacement. We got another fight that I'm pretty excited for between Carol Hosa. She's a dog, and she's going to be taking on the fingerhole popper, Aileen Nurmagomedov, Fiona Perez, whatever her name is going to be this week. We've got Renya Nakamura taking on Moeen Gafarov, the person that I was talking about earlier, where I don't know how he's ever won a fight in the UFC. Ricky Tercios, he is going to be taking on Bernardo Sopai. And then our opening fight of the night is going to be Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Clayton Carpenter. A few fights did get canceled. Johnny Walker versus Bogdan Guskov. I was ready for that one. And Zach Reese versus Cedriquez Dumas was also going to be on here. But maybe he'll be fighting 4 extra soon. So who knows? All right, here's first fight of the night. Oh, shit, I dropped my damn mouse. First fight of the night. Or actually, let me ask you, what's your opinion on the card as a whole, real quick before we get started?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good card. I think I told you we were talking earlier. I said I think the early part of the prelims was just a little weaker. But I do think, like the last probably 6-7 fights are, pretty damn good fights from top to bottom. So I think I'd give this card I'd give it a B+. I'd give it a B+. I think it's a solid B+. Not quite an A, but yeah, B+.
Fair enough. The chat's saying look up Big Justice, 5 big booms, and get your reaction to it. Hopefully we don't get taken off stream.
Want me to look it up?
Nah, here we go. It's on TikTok.
Oh gosh.
What
TikTok.
the fuck? Here we go. Here we go. Man, I gotta stop sharing for a second. All right, dear Rose.
This is going to be awesome.
This is going to be terrible.
I can already feel it,
dude.
I'm probably going to be excited to be introduced to these guys. I can already feel it.
It's interesting. Can you see it?
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Oh, 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 oh.
And there it was.
Really? That was the big boom, really.
Those are the big boom. Imagine your brother passing away, them giving you 5 big booms because of
these dorks. And just they're like, boom, boom, boom. Somebody ought to boom them upside their damn head. Damn boom, 5 boom my ass.
Anyway, I got it. You see the reaction.
What dorks, dude?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry guys. I have to. I'm glad Real Fight Picks knows what I'm talking about. All right.
Stupid.
Let's get into the fights this weekend, D-Rose.
I'll never get that time back in my life either. Watching that, I'll never get those 9 seconds back. That's the worst part.
They're just Costco guys.
So stupid. Unbelievably stupid.
Oh my God. I need to delete the internet. All
That's
right.
a good idea.
We're eventually going to get started on these damn fights. Here we go. We got Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Clayton Carpenter. Tagir Ulanbekov is 15-2, 33 years old, 5'7", and a 70-inch reach, while Clayton Carpenter is 8-0, undefeated, 28 years old, 5'6", and a 66-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight, if you'll give me just 1 second, I'll let you know. They are, get to log in. Sick. All right, here we go. Odds for this fight are Clayton Carpenter plus 260, the underdog, and Tagir Ulanbekov minus 325. So it hasn't moved from what's posted on Tapology. So with that being said, I do think Tagir Ulanbekov is the least impressive out of all of the, Nurmagomedovs, that whole group. But I don't really have a feeling about this fight. This is a fight that I don't really care either way. I'm probably not going to have any money on this fight, if I'm going to be honest, because I could see Tagir losing. But at the same time, I think he's just good and improving. But once again, he's probably not the best one out of all their Nurmagomedov clan, if you will. Still going to go Tagir to probably win this fight via decision, though. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think this one is this one's a little bit tougher for me to call because I guess I'm just not that big of a believer in Tagir Ulanbekov, but
He's just not that good,
Yeah, I don't think he is, and but Clayton Carpenter, I mean, I don't know enough.
He's young.
I know he's a wrestler. Yeah, he's young. I know he's a wrestler. I mean, he's 28, so he's not like super young in terms of age, but he's young in terms of his experience. And at least I can say that Tagir Ulanbekov has been in the UFC for a little bit, has fought at a little bit of a higher level, and he's coming out of a really good camp. Whether he's a good fighter or not, he is coming from a good camp with Habib and those guys. So I think I would just say, just off the strength of that and off the strength of record, I will go Tagir Ulanbekov, and I'll go Tagir by decision.
Yeah, looks like me and you on the same exact pick there. So me and D-Rose ain't spending too much time there on that one. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one, where we got Ricky Tercios taking on Bernardo the Lion King Sopai. Ricky Tercios is 12-4 overall, 31 years old, 5'9" and a 71-inch reach. He also stomps and yells at the same time too. Bernardo Sopai is 11-3. His fight name is the Lion King.
Fake glove touches.
24 years old, 5'6", and a 66-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 290 for Bernardo Sopai and pretty Ricky Tercios. I believe that was his fucking fight name. I don't know what happened to it. Ricky Tercios is plus 235, the underdog. Yeah, this is one where it's like we saw Bernardo Sopai in the UFC 2 times now just lose because I think Josh Van beat him, right? And or am I getting him confused? Him confused with someone
You
else?
talking about Sapaj?
Yeah.
Sapaj, his first fight was against our guy, Low Dog.
All right. So just in his fucking first fight, he got fucking flying kneed, knocked out, kind of gassed in that fight. So for him to be a minus 290 favorite after just losing, it's kind of, I don't really love to see it because, what if he's just not that great? But
He took the fight against Vinicius Oliveira on short notice too, though.
I was about to say that. Yeah. I was about to say, but he did take the fight on like fucking short notice. I believe it was like within like 2 or 3 days too. So did cut weight. He is 24 years old. And with him going up against someone that I truly don't know how they have any UFC win. D-Rose, how does Ricky Tercios have 1 UFC win, much less 2?
Does he have 2? That's surprising.
Dude, he does have
I guess
2.
the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, because he ended up beating Brady Easton, but going back and watching that fight, Brady Easton should have won that fight. I just don't know how he's won any fights, if I'm going to be honest. And the only fights he has won, both of them were via split decision. So I just don't see it. Bernardo Sopai's got decent ground game, solid wrestling. And that's where Ricky Tercios is trying to get the game, but he's not dense or powerful enough to do anything. So if he does end up getting Sopai to the ground, I suspect Sopai to sweep Ricky Tercios and end up on top. And probably, I don't want to say he submits Tercios. It wouldn't surprise me if he got a ground and pound finish. But give me Bernardo Sopai to win this fight via decision. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about Sopai. That I think he's got some potential. Again, he took that fight against Vinicius Oliveira, our guy Low Dog, on short notice. And honestly, that fight was actually a pretty good fight. He took Vinicius Oliveira down to the brink, and Vinicius Oliveira really had to kind of press the gas there at the end of that third round to kind of solidify the third round for the fight. And of course, he ended up having one of the nastiest knockouts. If it wasn't for the Max Holloway knockout, the Vinicius Oliveira knockout might have been the knockout of the year. That's how vicious that was. So that's what I want to see, how Sopai comes back from. How does he come back from such a vicious, brutal knockout like that? Thankfully for him, he is young. So, kind of have that young confidence to be able to, kind of overlook something like that. Maybe just say it was a moment. He took the fight on short notice, first fight in the UFC, and he's kind of back and ready now. But I'm curious to see how Sopai responds from getting brutally knocked out like that. I think as long as he shows the potential that he showed in the first 2 rounds of that fight against Low Dog, I think Sopai should be able to win here against Tercios. Sopai is just a much better fighter all around from what I've seen, and I think it'd be Sopai by decision.
Yeah, same. I guess we'll just have to see, is the size going to play a part? Like fucking Ricky Tercios is like Gumby. I don't think he's a strong guy at all. I think he's just long.
Yeah, he's
yell at you.
Yeah,
he's going to yell at you when he stomps on your toes in the middle of the
Gracie foot stomp. Like,
All right, so we'll move on to Rinya, the hybrid Nakamura, taking on Muin Tajik Gafarov. Rinya Nakamura is 9-0. He is 29 years old, 5'7" and a 68-inch reach, and his traps in the picture just look crazy. It just looks like they just go from his ears to his shoulders. Anyway, Muin Gafarov, on the other hand, 19-6 overall, 28 years old. I don't believe that though. 5'7" and a 68-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight, minus 535 for Rinya Nakamura, and Muin Gafarov is plus 400. Makes sense, I guess, because, dude, we've seen Rinya Nakamura a few times now. A few people expected him to get some finishes. I expected him to get some finishes. But at the end of the day, I think we just have to accept that he's a good-ass fucking wrestler, and he will finish a guy if it presents itself and, they're ready to open that door and just kind of get out of the cage. But if the fighter's got some fight in them, they're going to stay in there, and it's probably going to last 2 decisions. So with that being said, give me the very good Japanese wrestler to wrestle Muin Gafurov all 3 rounds and win this fight via decision. So give me Rinya Nakamura to win via decision. How about you, D-Rose?
Rinya Nakamura, he's super well rounded. He's a really good athlete. Explosive, good power in his hands. As you said, good wrestler as well. He's, super well rounded. And, Gafurov, I think he can provide a tough fight. He's got pretty good defensive wrestling to a certain extent, but he can be open to be submitted before. He has been submitted by Said Nurmagomedov at one point in time. I know Rinya Nakamura can be a little inconsistent with the submissions here, but I think a submission could potentially open up here. I think, he's going to be the much bigger guy. I think he's going to, when I say bigger, they are the same height. I just mean in terms of just density. I think he just, Rinya Nakamura looks like the much solid guy. So he just looks like he's going to be the much stronger guy. And I think that, controlling those wrestling exchanges, I think he might be able to even find a submission. So I might even be looking at playing that, maybe as far as a bet to see where the odds are on that. But let's go Rinya Nakamura. Let's go by 2nd round sub.
Fair enough. We're both on Rinya Nakamura. My thing is I think this is a solid test because they don't want to ruin their Japanese prospects because there's not a lot of them. So they have to give them the right matchups. And, fortunately, Saturday, the matchup is not a contest of who's hairier. It's a fight. So I got Rinya Nakamura in that. But if it was who's hairier, I would for sure go Muin Gafurov. Dude, he has that like one patch of hair on his back too. That's like every time he fights, I just wish he would shave it. It's got this one. It's got he's like a 3-inch by 3-inch circle on like the right side of his like halfway down his back. It just got a circle of hair there. I'm like, why don't someone shave that? Why don't someone shave that for him?
Man, I had to imagine because if you end up shaving it, it ended up growing back worse and stuff like that. I mean,
have you seen the rest of them though, dude?
Like the laser surgery on it.
Like all these Tajik dudes are like the hairiest dudes on earth, but they have to naturally. They have evolved to grow that body hair because it's so cold where they come from. That's my guess. But yeah, we are both on Rinya Nakamura here. I'm on decision. You are on submission. We'll move on to a banger. At least I personally think so. We've got Karol Rosa taking on Aileen Fiona or Nurmagomedov or the finger hole popper, butthole shower. I don't know whatever you want to call her. She does things online.
Aileen Perez, you're taking everything I've worked for, mother. No.
She does something strange for a little piece of change on the internet. Let's just put it that way. I'm just going to leave it like that. We got Karol Rosa, 18-6 overall, 30 years old, 5'5", and a 67.5-inch reach. While Aileen Perez, I almost called her Aileen Nurmagomedov. While Aileen Perez is 11-2 overall, 30 years old, 5'5", and a 66-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are Karol Rosa minus 258, your favorite, and Aileen Perez plus 210, your underdog. And, I like to pick Aileen Perez. It's fun to pick her because when she wins, she shakes her ass, people get mad, and I laugh. It cracks me up. But I don't think she's going to win this fight this weekend, and it's just because Karol Rosa, if there's one word to describe her, it would be dog. Like, this girl's a dog. She takes a little bit to get started sometimes, but once that second round hits, good fucking luck. The way I see this fight going is maybe Aileen Perez, maybe getting some control time up against the fence round 1, maybe even getting 1 or 2 takedowns in that first round. But we do know that Aileen Perez she gasses. She don't really have the gas to go hard for all 3 rounds. And with that being said, that dog starts barking in that round 2. Those paws start flying, knuckles coming at her face nonstop. Yeah, man. I think Carol Hosa probably gets a late knockout finish this weekend. I personally like Carol Hosa round 2, round 3 knockout. I don't think it's available on FanDuel yet. Or we can check and see. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, don't make me pick my state right now. Come on, FanDuel.
Yeah, they are some hoes about that. They will get you like that every now and then.
I'm trying to make me pick my state.
Yeah, Aileen Perez trying to come for my butthole territory. Yeah, so
You're right.
She's trying to take everything I've worked for. Mother.
All right. Do we have Carol Hosa, Aileen Perez? No, not yet. No prop odds for the round 2, round 3 knockout yet. But when it happens, Carol Hosa round 2, round 3 knockout for me. If not 3 or decision, I'll probably be taking a stab at both of them though. Which way are you going here this weekend, D-Rose?
Honestly, I will say that this fight has been hard for me to call because, as you were just saying, Carol Hosa, like that's her nickname. Is Carol Hosa. Like that's how I want Bruce Buffer to announce her going into the octagon this weekend. And Aileen Perez, Carol Hosa is just an absolute dog. Love watching her fight, and it doesn't matter who she's in a fight with. She's gonna make it nasty. She's gonna go in there. She's gonna be flat-footed as can be. No real good head movement whatsoever. But she's just gonna kind of block. She's gonna whip nasty leg kicks, and she's gonna try to box your freaking head off. Like it's that simple. Like if Carol Hosa has a game plan, and she goes out there and she's gonna go in there getting a scrap with you. Aileen Perez does have pretty good striking. Like she has.
No. She the spinning back fist that she throws is not good striking, Deros. Like she's got knockdowns from it, but it's not. It's like Dricus's fucking striking. It ain't good. It works, but it ain't good.
That's why I said competent striking. Let's say that. But yeah, I'd say competent striking. But her wrestling is starting to come along as well. So. I honestly think it's a really good matchup, and I have to say that, man, I think the way that this matches up, man, I like where Aileen Perez is as a dog right now, man. I'm surprised with you being the WMMA guy that you're not sniffing out.
It's a trap. That's why it's a trap.
Man,
for people like you to be like, man, I like Aileen Perez this weekend.
Man, because Aileen Perez got a lot of good momentum coming into this fight, man. And Carol Hosa is known to be win one, lose one. And, she's at the point where she won her last fight against Penny Kanzet. And I don't know if she's really necessarily fought anybody who's going to, put that constant wrestling pressure on her like Aileen Perez could potentially do, like she seemed to have done in her last few fights. So, yeah, man, I like where Aileen Perez is at as a dog, man. I don't think she's going to submit Carol Hosa, but I could 1,000% see Aileen Perez, as you said, with some clinch control against the fence, a little bit of wrestling. And, yeah, I like Aileen Perez as the dog here.
Wow. I cannot believe you. She's taking your territory and you're going to pick her? I mean, I don't even know what to even say now, D-Rose.
We're going for a collab project on OnlyFans. So y'all stay tuned.
D-Rose, Aileen Perez, dual balloon knot photos on OnlyFans upcoming.
Dual brown dots.
Oh, my goodness. We need some help.
We're gonna have dueling buttholes.
First, they're
gonna be like, on guard.
They're gonna try to kiss each other.
On guard.
You know, have make out sessions with your buttholes. All right. Here we go. Next fight, we've got Zachary Reese taking on Azamat Bekoev. Zachary, the Savage Reese, is 8-1 overall. 30 years old, 6'4", and a 77-inch reach, while Azamat Bekoev is, or the Kingpin, is 18-3 overall, 29 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. Took this fight this week. I have done zero research. Zach Reese was going to be fighting Cedric Dumas, where I was picking Zach Reese to win the fight. But it looks like he's going to be going up against a Russian, and I don't know anything about him, so I suspect he's a pretty solid wrestler, but I'll find out something about that after the podcast and over the next few days, and I'll have more information on Change of Cheddar if I have a bet on this fight Friday. But for right now, I guess give me Zachary Reese to win this fight, probably by submission, because that's what Zach Reese does. And if this guy's trying to take him down, I could see Zach Reese, taking an arm or a neck. He planned on fighting for multiple weeks now, as where Azamat took this fight this week. So give me Zach Reese to win this fight by finish. Let's go submission. That's how I feel about it. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, honestly, I'm with you just in terms of I haven't done any research on Azamat yet. I mean, not familiar with him at all. You got to think Zach Reese is going to have some type of advantage with a full camp as opposed to just a couple of days notice for Azamat here. Zach Reese is a huge dude, so he's going to be significantly bigger than Azamat as well. I'm going to go Zach Reese by knockout. So let's go.
Okay.
Let's go Zach Reese by knockout. Even though he's probably going to end up getting wrestled the whole fight.
It wouldn't surprise me, but everyone seems to be a fan of this collab happening.
It's the collab right. Y'all didn't know y'all needed.
Yeah. Me and D-Rose both on Zachary's here. Moving on to the next one. I have some opinions on this one, but I'm not going to be betting this fight. We've got Grant KGD Dawson, 22-2-1, taking on Diego Ferreira, 19-5. Grant Dawson is 30 years old, 5'10" and a 72-inch reach, while Diego Ferreira is 40 years old on fight day, 5'9" and a 74-inch reach. Currently, odds for I didn't give you odds for Makhachev and Zach Reese. Makhachev, holy shit. Makhachev is minus 235, the favorite, and Zach Reese is plus 180, the underdog on that, D-Rose. So it looks like me and you are both on the underdog, Zach Reese. But I could see myself changing once I do some fight research, learning anything about Azamat. Anything before we start on Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira from the last one?
No, we can keep moving.
Okay. Grant Dawson minus 280, the favorite. Diego Ferreira plus 210, the underdog. Yeah, I think Grant Dawson is just a better version of Diego Ferreira, younger version, literally 10 years younger. I suspect Grant Dawson to just wrestle Diego Ferreira at least the first 2 rounds to where Diego Ferreira starts to gas out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got a round 3 finish submission, Grant Dawson. So let's go round 3 submission, Grant Dawson. Which way are you going here, man?
Funny, we actually see this fight the same exact way. I see it the same way as well. I think Diego Ferreira, good fighter, solid skills, but I just think, the age, speed, I think is going to be a big factor in this fight. And he's not the biggest guy either, even though he does have the longer reach over Diego Ferreira. But I think Grant Dawson, I think I can see a hey, you're gonna have to subscribe to find out. Y'all gonna have to subscribe. But yeah, I think Grant Dawson, maybe I'm gonna go 3rd round TKO. I think it's maybe like a ground and pound. I think Diego Ferreira is gonna be too tough to submit, but I can 100% see Grant Dawson pounding him out for a ground and pound victory.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. But he probably finishes him late. It wouldn't surprise me one single bit. So that 3 or decision prop might be handy this week. Up next, we've got Bogdan Guskov taking on Billy Elikana. Once again, know nothing about Billy Elikana. This fight was just announced maybe yesterday, day before. Done no research. Bogdan Guskov was going to fight Johnny Walker, and that's what I was looking forward to. But I got to do some research on Billy. But Bogdan Guskov, 16-3 overall. Billy Elikana, 7-1. Bogdan Guskov, 32 years old, 6'3", 76-inch reach, and currently a minus 350 favorite, while Billy Elikana is 7-1 overall, 29 years old, 6'2", 77-inch reach, and plus 255 the underdog. I'm not betting on this fight. I would have bet Bogdan Guskov to knock out Johnny Walker, but don't know anything about Billy. So let's go Bogdan Guskov to win this fight, probably by second round knockout, because that's usually how it works when you get a late notice fighter. He usually gives it everything he's got in the first round, and then he ain't got nothing left in the second round and ends up getting knocked out. So Bogdan Guskov, second round knockout for me. What about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think especially Billy Elikana. I don't. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Him coming in on short notice. Going to be the smaller guy. I think Bogdan. Big power in his hands. He's got pretty good wrestling too, for the most part, man. And if there's one thing that Bogdan's going to do, man, he's going to go for the finish. So I think, I think, as you said, I think Billy comes out with a spark early, but I think Bogdan. I think maybe we can even see a first round finish. But I'll go Bogdan by knockout in the first round.
All right, fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on Bogdan Guskov. So up next, we've got Jelton Malhadjino Almeida taking on Sergey the Polar Bear, or Transylvania's own Nosferatu, Sergey Spivak. Jelton Almeida is 21-3 overall, 33 years old, 6'3", and a 79-inch reach. While Sergey Spivak is 29 years old, 6'3", 78-inch reach, and 17-4 overall. Currently, odds for this fight are Jelton Almeida minus 440. Sergey Spivak is plus 310, the underdog. I guess I would understand the odds more if Jelton Almeida could wear a garlic knot necklace into the ring, but he can't. So with that being said, I suspect that he will sleep with garlic on his feet all night. So they just smell like garlic. It's in his pores. And then going to walk into the octagon, scrub his feet on that canvas like a little bit, open up his pores, get that garlic scent flowing out of his pores. And when that first round starts, dude, we're going to get a front kick to the face from Jelton Almeida right to Sergey Spivak. It's going to stumble him because he's like, oh, what is this? This is illegal. Oh, the accent's going to come out. Going to start freaking out because the garlic's going to get in his nose. And then Jelton Almeida is going to dive at his ankles, take him down, and we probably get a round one finish from Jelton Almeida, whether it's Donkey Kong ground and pound or a rear naked choke, one of those two. What about you, D-Rose? Which way you see this going?
Yeah, Sergey Spivak. Look, he even had my submission of the year last year. Like that's how sweet I thought that submission was that he had over Marcin Tybura with that triangle. A great performance there. But I think Jelton Almeida, just the more athletic guy, the better striker overall. The only thing is, man, Jelton Almeida, he did the Alexander Romanov thing against Curtis Blades and tried to go out there and blow his wad in the first round, and then completely gassed out afterwards. Is Jelton Almeida going to do that again? Because Sergey Spivak does have pretty good defensive wrestling for the most part, and even if you take him down, as we see, he has good jiu-jitsu as well. So is Jelton Almeida going to tire himself out going for the finish? And can Sergey Spivak come back? Potentially, but I'm still going to ride with Jelton Almeida here. Again, I think he checks as the better striker, the bigger guy, and the more athletic guy, especially at the heavyweight division. That's what Sergey Spivak struggles with the most, are the athletic heavyweights. I think Jelton Almeida gets him out of there. Let's go second round TKO.
All right. Antoine saying is all the hype on Jelton dead. People were saying future champion at one point. I think Sergey Spivak striking might be better.
Curtis Blades did knock a little. Curtis Blades definitely knocked a little something out of Jelton Almeida's height.
But
after that fight where everybody really jumped off.
Here's what cracks me up, dude. It's like the dude is a light heavyweight. The dude's not a heavyweight. He's He just started taking some heavyweight fights because there was no light heavyweights that wanted to fight him. And he's just beating the shit out of all of the top heavyweights in the world. So what? He lost to Curtis Blades. You know, that's like a legit heavyweight that would never make light heavyweight. People forget that Jailton Almeida came into the UFC as a light heavyweight, you know, and he just couldn't get fights at light heavyweight. So it cracks me up that he's not a heavyweight and he's just dusting half the heavyweight roster. That cracks me up.
I mean, he pretty much is now, though. I mean, he has fully I will say that he has fully committed to the weight class, because when he was floating back and forth, he was kind of weighing in at heavyweight at 220 and 230. Yeah, when he's weighing 240
he's like
or so
240
on
now.
Yeah. If he's weighing 240 and stuff like that, that lets me know that he's fully committing to heavyweight, which can make him more dangerous.
Yeah. But I mean, either way, dude, he's a fucking problem. Very strong, athletic dude, good jiu-jitsu. You know, just not the biggest guy in the world. So he will run into problems. I just don't think it's Sergey Spivak this weekend. So moving on, we're going to be quick here. We got Peyton Talbot taking on Hani Barcelos. Peyton Talbot is 9-0, 26 years old, 5'10", and a 70-inch reach. Currently a minus 1,400 favorite. Hani Barcelos is 18-5, 37 years old, 5'7", and a 67-inch reach, and currently a plus 700 underdog. Yeah, I gotta go Peyton Talbot, probably to knock out Hani Barcelos sometime late second round, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, look what he did in his last fight. He fucking knocked the dude out fucking first punch. Yeah, but that's not really what Peyton Talbot does. He usually takes a little bit to get started, and Hani Barcelos is a vet, kind of smart, so he should have a solid game plan. I just don't know if he has the gas tank to go all 3 rounds anymore. He's older. The chin's not there anymore. And Peyton Talbot is a very good up-and-coming young contender, dude. So I don't really know what to do with the minus 1,400 favorite, but give me Peyton Talbot to win this fight, late second round knockout. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, man. I think Peyton Talbot got all the potential in the world right now, and I think if he comes out and has a big performance against a guy like Hani Barcelos, who I know that's your guy. I know you love you some Hani Barcelos, man, but yeah, I mean Hani Barcelos, look, he's a tough guy, veteran. He's just a well-rounded fighter. So I'm not saying that he's the best fighter in the world, but he is a good test for somebody like a Peyton Talbot, because if Peyton Talbot comes in here and blows the doors off of Hani Barcelos, I mean, we see what it did to Umar Nurmagomedov. I mean, Umar ended up being basically 2 fights after that, and he's fighting for the title. So I'm not saying that Peyton Talbot is going to necessarily be fighting for the title after 2 fights if he goes out here and finishes Hani Barcelos, but I think it's a good feather in his cap moving forward to where people can start taking him serious. And I do think Peyton Talbot gets it done. Big power in his hands, man. So, and super athletic, great timing. I go back to that Cameron Simon fight every time, when it was like every time, like the way that Peyton Talbot was able to tell when Cameron Simon was going to shoot in and to time that knee, dude, it was absolutely picture perfect, man. And Peyton Talbot,
it was almost like Max Holloway spinning back kick-esque over fucking Justin Gaethje. It's like he just knew, like every time he just kept laying in the knee. Max Holloway kept laying with the spinning back kick. Like it's like, what the hell? How do you what's the tell? Because it's like you're doing something and then they throw it immediately, and it lands.
Dude, to do it multiple times like that is what's just so clever and so interesting, and how they kind of digest what their opponent's going to do. So I'm going to go Peyton Talbot, man, and I'm going to go first round knockout.
Okay, fair enough. I don't hate it. I can see it happening. We'll move on to one of the ones that I am most excited for on this card. Come on, work. We've got the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, 26-12 overall, taking on Reinier de Ridder, the Dutch Knight, second fight in the UFC, 18-2 overall. The Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, is 32 years old, 6'3", and an 81-inch reach, while Reinier de Ridder is 18-2. I think I said that. 34 years old, 6'4", and a 78-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 113 apiece. Kevin Holland and Reinier de Ridder. And yeah, man, this is one of the ones where I'm ready for this fight. I have been waiting to be able to bet this fight for so long, and the odds are kind of throwing me off. I expected Ranier de Ridder to be the favorite, but I think a lot of people see what I saw in the last fight is that Ranier de Ridder's striking defense is basically non-existent. He was shying away from punches from Gerald Meerschaert, dude, and Gerald Meerschaert by no means is a clean, solid boxer, even on a good day, dude. I don't think he's ever had a good day in a boxing gym. I think every fucking boxing class he's ever had, he's been fucking knuckled up. And GM3 was putting the paws on Ranier de Ridder to the point where it was almost like I felt bad for him. Like, man, this dude's going to get knocked out whoever he fights next. Well, his next fight is none other than the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, that has multiple knockouts up at 185 pounds. He has power to get him out of there. The only issue with this fight, and that's why the odds are the way they are, is because Kevin Holland can be taken down, and Ranier de Ridder was a, I think, middleweight and light heavyweight champion of one championship. So, big guy, and you saw how big he was against GM3 when they fought. So if Ranier de Ridder can get Kevin Holland down, it might be wraps from there. However, I think Kevin Holland smokes this fool. I'm not gonna lie. I think his striking defense is fucking terrible. He didn't like getting hit from Gerald Meerschaert, so that tells me I don't think that he can withstand a punch from Kevin Holland. I think we see Kevin Holland land 3 solid punches, and then Ranier de Ridder goes down. Let's go Kevin Holland. Let's go Kevin Holland, second round knockout. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I know you were even big when the fight was first announced. I know you said, man, I know who I'm putting my money on. So I know you've been pretty convicted on this for a little bit. Yeah, I think for me, I think Ranier de Ridder, as you said, he came in, he got lumped up a little bit by GM3. I will say he embraced that dog in the fight though, man. Like, he didn't really shy away from getting into a dog fight with somebody. So that is one thing that I will say that I did like to see from Ranier de Ridder. And for Kevin Holland, we know that he can go out there. The big thing for me with Kevin Holland is that where he can sometimes go out there and not really throw the volume that we can see him potentially put his opponent in danger with. I mean, I'm not asking him to go out there and just absolutely blow his wad in the first round, but there are times where, like in the JDM fight, where he's kind of standing and watching a little bit. I didn't think the JDM fight was bad necessarily, but it's just not the Kevin Holland that we're used to seeing. And he's been a little bit known to have some of those performances in a couple of his fights. And the biggest thing for me for Kevin Holland at 185 is that he almost has no takedown defense at 185 versus I think at least at 170 he's able to have the strength advantage against a lot of those guys because he's going to be naturally bigger than them. I think he's going to be fighting a guy against Ranier de Ridder who's going to be, as we see, he's bigger than Ranier de Ridder. He has the reach advantage, Ranier de Ridder is going to be the bigger guy. So I think he's going to have the advantage in the grappling. I can see Ranier de Ridder getting a submission, man. Maybe like a rear naked choke or something like that. Let's go Ranier de Ridder, rear naked choke, second round.
All right. So me and D-Rose split on the second fight of the night. I'm on Kevin Holland, and D-Rose on Ranier de Ridder. Interesting. But I expected that one. Not going to lie. I expected you to pick Ranier de Ridder there. So move on to the second fight of the main card. We've got Benny D, Beneil Dariush, taking on Renato Money Moicano. He can't afford to lose. Benny D, 22-6 overall, 35 years old, 5'10" and a 72-inch reach, while Renato Money Moicano is 25-1 overall, 35 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 142 for Beneil Dariush, and Renato Moicano is minus 184, your favorite. I saw something funny this week was like the interview with Renato Moicano, and he's like, everyone's calling Benny D the old guy, but you can't call him old without calling me old because I think we're the same age. And with that being said, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna beat the shit out of this old guy. Classic Money Moicano, dude. He has grown on me so fucking much, dude. He cracks me up. I watch the Show Me the Money podcast every single week, dude. And he has me dying, dude. It's him, Gilbert Burns, and this dude called Matty Betts, dude. And those Gilbert and Renato Moicano, dude, their fucking back and forth cracks me up so fucking much, dude. Like it is one to add into your weekly rotation of podcasts.
Yeah.
It's about an hour long. But
I hear clips from them, and like there's not a lot of things that are funnier than like the Brazilian Portuguese accent, like speaking English. Like I love like just the way that they translate their English and the broken English in there, but what their accents is just it's so funny to hear them go back and forth. And
just Moicano himself, dude. It's like he is so fucking hilarious, dude. Like even
hilarious, dude.
It's like the UFC is like fucking posting his post-fight speeches. Like that's the amount of attention that it gets. So yeah, dude. With that being said, I am going to go Renato Moicano to win this fight. I think it's just the end of Benny D, man. I think we saw the best of him, and especially after the Charles Oliveira knockout, dude. I don't see Benny getting any other forms of title shots. This is going to be his last like little push here. He's got to beat Renato Moicano, dude. If he fucking loses this fight, he's going to be fighting nothing but contenders from now on. If he doesn't, like retire. I got Renato Moicano. I'm going to go Renato Moicano first round knockout, dude. I think he can touch the chin of Benny D and set him down. And depending on who the ref is, we can get that stoppage that I'm looking for. So give me Renato Moicano first round knockout. Which way are you going here, man?
Man, I'm curious to see how this fight plays out, because both guys have really good jiu-jitsu, really good ground control. And Beneil Dariush is willing to, throw subs off of his back. He's not scared to attack from his back when he's on the ground. And same for Renato Moicano. But we don't really see Renato Moicano in a position where he's taken down too much because he does have good defense as well as far as wrestling goes. And, and we know the jiu-jitsu control that he's able to display once Renato Moicano gets that top position. I don't know if Renato Moicano necessarily has the power in his hands to put Beneil Dariush out. He has the functional striking. Let's say that. So, like, he's got pretty good leg kicks. He's got a good 1-2, but it's not like he's putting these nasty combos together or anything like that. He's got, like, a pretty good uppercut. So, it's solid. It's solid striking, but he does use it all to set up his grappling. So if it ends up on the ground, man, I think this fight can be a lot closer than what the odds are projecting here. But I think if Renato Moicano, I am with you in terms of that. I think where Beneil Dariush's chin, I think he's just taking so much damage and stuff over the time. And, it's clear that, in the Arman Tsarukyan fight, the Charles Oliveira fight, I mean, all these fights, he's just getting absolutely blasted and getting out of there. So I think Renato Moicano could potentially hurt Beneil Dariush. I don't know if he knocks him out on the feet, but I think what could potentially happen is, I can see Renato Moicano maybe taking him down and getting a ground and pound victory. Yeah, kind of similar to how when Charles Oliveira pounded him out.
Like what surprised me, about the Moicano fight, about Moicano was like the BSD fight, like the way he just threw BSD down, like he had nothing for him, dude. I was like, oh shit, because BSD is this strong, powerful dude. And like that told me something like Renato Moicano's got some kind of technique that not everyone sees. And once he gets you to the ground, dude, it's like his top pressure is like on point to where it's like it kind of feels like there's a person 2 weight classes on top of you holding you down, opposed to being someone your fucking weight class. Because BSD BSD, solid jiu-jitsu, couldn't move on the bottom, just getting fucking pounded. And I could see Renato Moicano doing the same thing to Benny D this weekend as well. And I suspect that's what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, I think Renato Moicano, let's go ground and pound finish round 2.
Okay, fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on Renato Moicano via knockout. Up next, oh man, I am excited for this. We've got Yuri.
Let's just say I think this is the people's main event. I think people are most excited for this fight. If I had to say.
This is my main event. My main event. We got Yuri BJP Prochazka taking on Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. Yuri Prochazka is 30-5 overall, 32 years old, 6'3" and that 80-inch reach, while Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill is 12-2 overall, 33 years old, 6'4" and a 79-inch reach. Currently, Yuri Prochazka is the underdog at plus 100. Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill is your favorite at minus 130. D-Rose, I am going to do you the honors, my guy. I'm going to let you break this one down.
Yeah, I think because we know who you're going to end up picking. So, this fight, this is another one where I could literally grab a coin and flip it, and I can make the argument for either guy to win this fight. I think that's how close, this fight really can be, because I think where Yuri can have the advantage is just that wild man mentality that he has, where he can go out there and just not really care about what's in front of him and just walk a guy down and just be able to wear on him like he did against Alexander Rakic over time, just put that continuous pressure on him and getting him out of there. And Jamal Hill really hasn't faced that type of pressure in the UFC. He kind of got pushed to the limit there against Thiago Santos, but he ended up passing that test. Jamal Hill did. But we saw in any real adversity that he's kind of faced, which was the Paul Craig fight, and his elbow did get dislocated in the fight. It's not like he didn't necessarily give up, but had to get taken out of the fight. And then the Alex Pereira fight, let Jamal Hill explain it. Jamal Hill got caught. So, but Jamal Hill, good boxing, good power, good kicks as well, good powerful kicks. Both former champs, man. Really fun fight. Both got power. This fight is not going to the distance. I just don't see how it can. But man, give me Jamal Hill here. I think the biggest thing is just that I think Yuri just gets hit too much. He gets hit too much, in my opinion. And I just think that with the way Yuri, if he does not severely change anything up with his defense, I just don't know how much longer he's going to be able to compete at the title level. So I'm going to go.
Gotta channel my inner Yuri already, brother.
That's so rough. Don't you have a shirt? I thought you had a shirt. Why wouldn't you? What would you do with that? Not with the. Is he going to embrace the antenna this time around?
Oh yeah.
Is he going to?
You don't not embrace the antenna. He's embracing the antenna, dearest.
Yeah, he's got to, man.
Yeah, dude. Jamal Hill crosses his feet too much for me to pick him. I just like Yuri pays attention to these little things. And what book has Yuri been reading this past 2 months? That's going to play a big factor. What book has he been reading? What martial arts is he channeling? This fight, dude. I'm glad you pointed out the victories for Jamal Hill. I like that you said that. But I know MMA math doesn't work. But ask yourself, what would Yuri Prochazka do to every single one of those people? Thiago Santos, like Paul Craig. Could you imagine Paul Craig versus Yuri Prochazka? Imagine what that would have turned out like.
Well, Paul Craig beat Jamal Hill.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine what Yuri versus Paul Craig would have turned out like? That would have been like Paul Craig's head might not have even been attached to his shoulders after that fight anymore, dude. I just think Yuri's just got so many tools in the bag. And I think Jamal Hill is going to at least spend the first round being like, what the fuck is this dude doing? I think a lot of people are comparing Yuri Prochazka to Johnny Walker. And yeah, their fight styles are kind of similar, but their durability is not even on the same planet. Like that punch that Jamal knocked out Yuri with, I mean, like the knocked out fucking Johnny Walker with, that's not knocking out Yuri. It's just not. I don't know if, aside from that fight, if we've ever seen Jamal one-shot anyone. Jimmy Crute, all right, but that was like over and over with the jabs. I think people act like Jamal Hill has this like one-shot knockout power, when in my opinion, I don't think he's the best fighter. I think he's never in the best shape. I think he thinks he's better than what he actually is, and it shows in this attitude. Yeah, dude, I think Yuri Prochazka puts the fucking pressure on him. Jamal Hill can't figure him out, and we got it happening again. That round 2 knockout for Yuri Prochazka, and it's going to happen because that's every time Yuri Prochazka knocks out his opponent is in that second round. So second round, Yuri Prochazka channeling the antenna, baby. Yuri Prochazka, second round knockout. Here it is. But Glover was piecing up Yuri, who Hill dominated him. Yeah, but how'd the fights go? We got Yuri Prochazka finished Glover Teixeira, and Jamal Hill won via decision. Still ended differently, Antoine. Still ended differently. Jamal's best enemy. Either him, Ryan Spann, Darren Elkins got a solid one too, though.
Yeah, but just to go back to that point, you said by decision or finish. That was just to say it as flatly as that. Okay, cool. But to have the context of Glover Teixeira basically blew the fight because he had Yuri hurt and decided to go for a dumb guillotine and set himself in a bad position, versus where Jamal Hill was never in that position because Glover Teixeira didn't have an opportunity in that fight. Like he caught Hill with a couple of punches because Hill's eye was obviously swollen a little bit. But after that, it wasn't close when it went to the judges' scorecards on who was winning that fight.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one. I'm excited for it this weekend. I'm either going to be right and look like a genius, or I'm going to be wrong and lose my fucking money. So we'll see. Moving on. Co-main event of the evening. We've got the Machine, Merab Dvalishvili, taking on cousin Umar Nurmagomedov. Merab is 18-4 overall, 34 years old, 5'6" and a 68-inch reach, while cousin Umar Nurmagomedov is 18-0, 29 years old, 5'8" and a 69-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 240 for Merab and minus 330 for cousin Umar. Yeah, dude. I think Umar wins this fight. Via decision. I know it's crazy to say, but outworking Merab. Because my thought is Merab wins fights by control. He's not a good striker. He either traps you up against the fence or he takes you down. I saw the interaction between these two, and Merab, kind of grabbed the hold of Umar. I was like, oh, you're strong. You're a big guy. Like, it was almost like he was surprised that, damn, this dude's this going to be an issue when I have to fight this dude. And I think that's the reason why Merab has been trying to avoid Umar, because he knows he's not going to beat him. But UFC's pushing it. They clearly want Umar as their champion over Merab. That's just causing them fucking issues. So, give me Umar to win this fight via decision. How about you, D-Rose?
I mean, and I can.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry. So I don't like. I fucking went to halfway breaking it down and then just fucking stopped. Yeah. So like Marab's got to pin him up against the cage or do the wrestling. So when that doesn't work, Umar's able to stuff it, stuff the takedowns, reverse Marab. This is going to be a striking fight on the feet. And Umar's got solid kicks, solid front kicks, solid question mark kicks. And I think he does enough at that point to outpoint Marab over the distance, because it's going to end up being a striking fight. So Umar via decision for me. Sorry, go ahead, D-Rose.
Yeah, no, I think this is a tough fight, and I can understand Marab's point to say that he doesn't think that Umar deserves it, because if you look at the path that Marab had to take to get to the title fight, I mean, he basically had to win 10, 11 fights to get to the title shot, versus where I think Umar's on like just a 6-fight win streak right now. So I can understand where Marab, kind of gets rubbed the wrong way, where he's like, damn, man, I had to fight all these guys, and Umar kind of gets the rocket ship up to the top, but nepotism, it plays for everybody, and fighters are no different, and he's a part of the Nurmagomedov family. Umar is, so yeah, he may have gotten up the strength of his family, but he's also a good fighter as well. So I think I think he is well deserved of the next title shot, and so as far as that goes, I think it's a super good matchup, and I think Umar is the clear better striker. He's not the natural wrestler. And Marab actually wasn't like a wrestler coming into fighting, but I know after training with Aljo and all those guys, that's where he really started to develop it. I think we could potentially maybe see a similar fight like how Aljo and Mavzar was. I think we could see maybe a similar fight to this one. I think a lot of scrambles, a lot of wrestling. And I think it could turn out to be kind of a sneakier, fun fight. I think it goes to decision. And I'm going Marab, man. I think I want to see that pressure and cardio. I do think that as I know you said you think it's going to mostly take place on the feet. I think there's going to be a lot of attempts at wrestling. I think it's going to be a lot of scrambles, and I think whoever comes out on top of those scrambles are going to be the ones who really takes away those rounds in key moments and win the fight. And I think Marab's capable of doing that. So let's go Marab by decision.
Fair enough. Antoine, absolutely not. What about you, Darius?
No. I don't know if you were watching when Israel Adesanya and Kelvin Gastelum was the co-main event to Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. So yeah, I can just call that one off the top of my head now and say, yeah, this is not the most loaded top two of all time.
No. And there is a chance that these two top could be absolute snooze fest, like they could be just fucking boring as shit. So
in terms of the most rightful challenger, sure, these fights are like, top notch in terms of, hey, the most highest level of technical skill in this sport. Yes, you could say that, these are two of those top types of fights. But in terms of anticipation for the fights, expectation, this is nowhere near there.
It is pretty high level, though. It is high level. I will say. But I mean, pretty much all championship fights are there. Like there aren't a lot that I'm like, why is this being made? But we have the rightful number one contender here, I believe so. Arman Tsarukyan taking on Islam Makhachev. If you guys haven't already, please do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. We are on the main event here. Islam Makhachev, 26-1 overall. 33 years old, 5'10" and a 70.5-inch reach, while Arman Tsarukyan is 22-3 overall, 28 years old, 5'7", 72.5-inch reach. Odds for this fight are Islam Makhachev -400 and Arman Tsarukyan +285. Yeah, man, this is one where I just think Islam's too big, dude. I don't know how many more times he's going to make 155 pounds. This might be one of his last fights at 155. And I know he has said that he would like to become double champion, but he don't really want to fight Bilal. But I wouldn't put it past him, man. I could see him doing it. Yeah, I just don't think this goes too much different than the first fight. Going to be lots of scrambles, lots of wrestling, because that's Arman's thing. Arman loves to wrestle, but he's kind of got the body style for it. As where Islam's a little bit longer, little bit more lankier. He's got the better striking of the two. So if this does play out on the feet, I do have Islam winning most of the moments there. Arman could control him a little bit on the fence. I don't think the UFC allows it to even happen, to be honest. If Arman somehow does maybe win 3 rounds of this fight, I think it ends up going to the Makhachev side, dude. Yeah, let's go father's plan. I got all 3 of them winning. Tagir winning, Makhachev winning, and cousin Umar winning. Let's go Islam Makhachev to win this fight via decision. D-Rose, which way are you going here?
Yeah, I think this is a good, again, as we were just saying, super high-level fight, super technical. Both these guys are great everywhere on the ground. And we've seen both the guys face adversity in their most recent fights and still come out on top. Islam, first time that I think he probably ended up getting busted up in terms of bleeding. I don't know if I've ever seen where Islam had been bleeding in a fight before that Dustin Poirier fight. So, and I think one of the judges even had that. Now, 2 of them had it 3-1 Islam going into that 5th round, but another judge had it 2-2 going into that 5th round against Dustin Poirier. So Islam really faced some adversity, and Arman in that last fight against Charles Oliveira really faced some adversity with that guillotine and him being able to fight back and win. So 2 of the highest level guys in the sport. I think Arman Tsarukyan, I think he is the better kicker overall. We've seen that nasty highlight of him throwing that axe kick against Charles Oliveira. His back body kick is absolutely nasty. He can hurt dudes with that thing. But man, I do think Islam, I just think he's just a little bit better than Arman all around. And I think he's just going to be the bigger guy who's going to be able to control the wrestling exchanges. And a lot of people are not giving Islam the credit for his striking. Because I will say that it's not if you can catch him in the pocket a little bit, like he obviously goes for the clinch for a reason, but if he keeps the striking at the range that he likes, Islam, man, he is a very clean striker, and he's also got nasty kicks as well. Good straight left from the southpaw position. I mean, I like Islam by decision here. So I think it ends up being a fun fight. I think it's close. We can maybe see a 48-47, 49-46, but I think each round is close. But I think where Islam's just such a smart guy, high level, high IQ type of fighter, I think he's just going to do just enough to edge out those rounds to get himself a decision.
Fair enough. So me and D-Rose are both on Islam Makhachev in the main event on Saturday. So with that being said, those are all the picks for us. Yeah, those are all the picks, all 14 fights. We do have 4 different fights, 4 different picks of fights on this card. I assume you want to throw off the co-main event?
So the other fights are Aileen Perez,
Carol Hosa, Kevin Holland, DeRitter, and Yuri and Jamal Hill.
Yeah,
I mean, that's your biggest underdog. All right. So for the pick champ this week, hopefully stay over here. We got Carol Hosa versus Aileen Perez, where I am on Carol Hosa, D-Rose on Aileen Perez, dog there. We've got Kevin Holland versus Renier DeRitter, where I am on Kevin Holland, D-Rose on Renier DeRitter. That fight's split down the middle, though. I think Kevin Holland's a dog there. All right. Yeah. That one split 113 apiece. And Yuri versus Jamal Hill. I have the dog, and you have the favorite. I am on Yuri, D-Rose on Jamal Hill. So we got, I got a dog, you got a dog, and then we got one split 113 apiece. That's a good one, right? That's a good pick champ this week, right?
Sure. Wait, you said Hill's the favorite against Yuri?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Currently, right now, Yuri Prochazka plus 100, Jamal Hill minus 130 on FanDuel.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's surprising.
Yeah. Oddly enough, D-Rose, those are the 3 fights that I am most excited for this weekend. Yuri versus Jamal Hill, Kevin Holland versus Renier DeRitter, and Carol Hosa versus Aileen Perez. Those are the 3 fights that I am most excited for this weekend. Probably because it's the 3 that I feel like I have the most confidence toward. I think all 3 of those fighters win. there's a chance all three of those fighters finish too. So I don't mind that. Yeah, I'm excited for the pay-per-view this weekend. I'm going to have a whole bunch of TVs downstairs because pay-per-view is going to be on the same time that playoff football is going to be on.
Yep.
And my fiance also said there's a soccer game on around that same time too. So we're going to have like a laptop and 2 TVs up. But yeah, I'm excited for the fights this weekend. Hopefully I can make some money. Hopefully you can make some money if you're going to be betting the fights this weekend. D-Rose, you going to stop by Change the Cheddar Friday?
Yeah, we'll be here.
All right. Catch me and D-Rose right here live on Change the Cheddar Friday night. Weigh-ins and shit are going to be in LA. So yeah, we should be able to knock it out a little bit earlier if you're off, D-Rose, but you just have to let me know. But right now I'll fucking schedule it like for 10. And if I can make it sooner, then I'll just fucking schedule it like a little bit sooner. But yeah. With that being said, that's going to be it for everybody here on the podcast today. May gave our post-fight reaction from this past weekend, news and fight announcements, and then D-Rose ate some beans as well. It's a little surprise here. And then me and D-Rose made our picks for this weekend's UFC 311. So with that being said, we truly appreciate each and every single one of you for stopping by here and hanging out with us right here today on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. Remember, at the beginning, reach out to me, get your cards. And if you're interested in winning some UFC cards, check out Change the Cheddar Friday. I'll usually probably going to do something like I did this past week where I say, put your best plus money play in the comments and win some cards. But with that being said, that's going to be all from me and, Sugar Ray Leonard over here. My name is Matt. D-Rose is on that side of your screen, and we will see you guys Friday for Change the Cheddar. But with that being said, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay warm out there. It's cold. But me and D-Rose will catch you guys on Friday. With that being said, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.